I'm extremely happy to be here along with my panel. Five stalwart, panel members comes from very, very diverse backgrounds, and definitely, I'm sure they will justify this panel, right? I want to take 1 or 2 minutes, and we have 30 to 45 minutes to spend, and we'll see that we give a lot of value to all the participants here. My name is Raghu Babu Gunturu. I run a company called SimplyBiz Private Limited. I operate out of Hyderabad, another GCC capital, trying to catch up with Bangalore. And what we do is we help mid-market and global SMEs come to India, set up their nano GCCs, mid-market GCCs, helping set up and also manage their non-core functions, finance and compliance operation. That's what we do. And what I want is very quick 1 line, 2 lines introduction about you and what you do currently. Then we come back and pick up few questions and see that how can we give a lot of value to the participants here. Shiju?
GCC event.
Okay, thanks Raghu. Hello everyone. Lovely to be here.
I'll inform her.
Services and Business Development Gate Zalaris. I have close to about 25 plus years of experience
I'll tell her immediately.
in HR and payroll services.
Yeah.
Now
ठीक
building
है.
GCCs for Zalaris and for our clients. Thank you everyone.
ठीक है.
Hi, good evening. Truly delighted to be here. Friday evening, heavy topic.
Thank you. Name is Augustus from Kindle. Kindle is an IBM spin-off. We are an IT infrastructure management company based here in Bangalore, headquartered in New York. And for those of you who are wondering what is IT infrastructure management, this is a high-level IT infrastructure of various big organizations that we manage. For example, we have the banking sector, we have the travel sector, and they all run on mainframe, data integrity, data security, and these are some of the areas that we operate in. We have about 25,000 employees in India and are present in about 65 countries globally. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Prasanna Ayadara. I am Head of Operations for Fictive. We are Nano GCC with about 100 team. Looking forward to scale in size. Fictive is a global manufacturing and supply chain company transforming ideas into precision engineered products for our clients and customers. On a personal front, I also run an NGO. As a philanthropist, it's People and Society providing transformation education, so managing between professional aspirations and the NGO giving back to the society is my aspiration. Very glad to be a part of this panel. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Rajan Narayanaswamy. I've been working for the corporates, for US and German corporates, setting up their global GCCs. Since 2019, I started my own consulting company, working with the mid-market clients to set up their, now we call it Nano GCCs. So I have been doing this since 2019, working with some of the Middle East, US, and German companies to set up their very focused product-based teams here in India and across various cities, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Pune. So thanks, Santosh, for this opportunity to be among these panelists and experienced people here. I'm happy to learn and share my experience. Thank you.
Good evening all, my name is Ani and I have 23 years of IT experience and worked in India, primarily majority part of UAE and then US. So I came back to India and then I started 2 companies. One is for setting up as a Nano GCC for Middle East based companies. Another one is my HR tech startup, which is Talent Spotify, where we work on API gamification. And I'm happy to see the conversations, how it will be going on this one. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that rapid introduction. I'm not sure a year back we were all talking about GCCs. Large number of participants here and the service providers, right? But last 1 year, it has picked up so much, right? Why we have the 1800, which took maybe 2 decades, 3 decades to become that number, right? When we said GCC, it is 3,000 number, 5,000 number. Each location is having 3,000, is considered as a GCC in some, databases, right? So you have a large GCCs and your mid-market GCCs maybe from 100 million to 1 billion, right? And then you have a nano GCCs in new category below 100 million. I mean, it is becoming excessive, the word use of GCC, right? But let's keep that aside, what it is, but what is the value this can generate, I think that's what is important. Several states have policies now, right? Several states are competing, so much of, work is happening, several service providers are coming. Therefore, there is a value, right? Otherwise, why anybody want to go after that, right? So definitely, there is a value from GCCs. Now, when we look at the nano GCCs, maybe up to $100 million, maybe 10 people to 200 people, 300 people, I think that could be the way to look at as the GCCs, right? And the other categories of who are these nano GCCs who are coming? Maybe, a startup in the US, right, who raised 100 million, 20 million, 50 million, doing a product development, right? They are the one who are coming in. That's one category. There are, traditionally we have seen the tech is getting outsourced. Large tech companies, large manufacturing companies, tech is getting outsourced. What is happening now? Non-tech companies are trying to build a tech here, trying to build a marketing here, trying to build a innovation. So many things are happening. Now with the AI and agentic AI, the prescription for GCC itself is undergoing change. Whether we will continue to have 3,000, 5,000, 50,000 GCCs, I don't know. Current mandates are, I have 1,000 people, I want to start a GCC with 100 people, but from my 2,000 number, can you deliver that in 300 numbers with an agentic AI? This is the prescription. There are GCC providers who are saying, I am bundling agentic AI solution with the GCC setup. That is how the conversation is happening. That is what is the nano GCC, from a context perspective, right? For any GCC, the key weightage, key thing is the talent. Maybe 70-80% is the talent and the outcome. The rest is periphery, right? The workspace, several other things are there. Talent, best talent, the outcome is what is important, which is 80%. Now, I wanted to, go with the, first on the talent, right? How are you handling the talent piece in terms of retention, in terms of how do we integrate the talent with the parent? It is an extension. It is not, something offsite, remote. It is particularly the nano GCCs, sometimes they are founder driven. Very, very hands-on approach. The outcome for the nano GCCs, I see much better than the large GCCs. As an enterprise, they have their own hierarchy, structures, the decision making itself could be 6 to 24 months. But nano GCC, it could be like this. Because, I just need 20 people, I just need 50 people. Can I up and running in 1 month, 2 months, get the outcome coming? So what I want is very specifically on the talent side, each one of you, something which is unique you are doing in your organization, which can help nano GCCs, adopt and deliver that value. Should you want to go? Yeah.
So very good point, right? Talent, and that's right. See, with nano GCCs, what we are doing is, and what does talent need? Talent needs the value in the organization. They want to be recognized. Nobody wants to do just back office work anymore. And that is where, as Raghu said, your customers or clients outside are coming in saying that we want GCCs to be embedded with agentic solution or AI solution or automation. Your talent need not do the hardcore transactional activities. Those things are automated completely. So our focus is to provide that value add to the talent so that they feel valuable within the organization, and that is what we are driving from a culture perspective. So in my view, all these nano GCCs that we are talking about, right, these nano GCCs are pretty much focused on AI or business intelligence, very core skill set, which is needed for every organization. How do you enable them, with the value within the organization? That is what we are driving from a culture perspective.
Thank you, Shishir. Taking off from what you said, culture, I think that's the most important aspect of it. So talent's got to be undergirded by culture. And when I say culture, it's about building a culture of innovation, all right? About building collaborative spirits, respect for each other, and of course having learning as a habit, building that learning behavior, because the availability of talent can at many times become a demand, but if you have the right culture and you're able to grow that talent alongside that culture, or rather undergirded by that culture, I think we got the right mix to attract both the nano GCCs as well as the micro and macro. Thank you.
I mean, you are the, your organization is a perfect fit for a nano GCC. What you guys do, how did you start, how did you hire, why did you start that GCC in India? I mean, how much you have achieved with that objective? Maybe some, your own experience, your own organization will be very valuable.
Sure. I think you have very well articulated, and it is what exactly it is. It is the founder's vision for Fictive. It's about 2.5 years that Fictive GCC has been in Bangalore, setting up at scale. So definitely in terms of the operational efficiency, the team is contributing at 25% or higher. The three key focus areas that we are looking at for the GCC to sustain and also to scale, because when you say nano GCCs, I think the first thing is about the sustainability, right? As much easier it is to set it up, it is also a lot of resilience to hold the talent, the closely knit people with strong cultural foundation, and also under the umbrella of the employee experience, right? The belief system, the perks that they get, especially the Fictive GCC also operates in the EST PST timing, so it is biologically counterclockwise that we are operating, so looking at the wellness aspect of it. But this is how we have defined our theme as building together a GCC with three key pillars, and that's what we're going to execute as a strategy, especially at the GCC. Here is the technical capabilities. As I said, Fictive is a manufacturing and supply chain organization into digital support, so having technical capabilities of these SMEs is very important. And then the functional capabilities. We always talk, do we have SMEs here? Are those key roles really out of the local, or are they kind of managed and we are doing executional roles? I think I can say the Fictive is a good example that we have SMEs, people talk about KPIs, inclined to the business vision. They talk in terms of the revenues, and the contributions are directly aligned to the ROI that the company generates, and every resource is directly linked to it. We are part of all hands, some of these great initiatives that are driven. And the third one is on the leadership capabilities. It is a very young GCC and also a very nano setup. So we have got leads, but nurturing their leadership to be able to scale and sustain for longer is the third key pillar. And that's our strategy, to put these three things together and make it stronger and take it forward. Thank you.
So when we talk about the nano GCCs, we are talking about the Scrum team, kind of a team setting up, which is very focused on delivering certain value to either the parent company or to the startup. Okay. So I just want to share my personal experience both as a corporate employee, where I was involved in setting up such small Scrum teams, or now as an entrepreneur setting up those nano teams for companies like very small, below 500 million, not even above 500 million revenue, below 500 million revenue companies. So way back in 2012, I set up a Greenfield Development Center in Gurgaon for a German company, which is a $3 billion company, but we decided to set up an R&D center outside Munich, in Asia, to cater to the Asian market, which is a very niche product where we're building there in the currency security related products. Okay, so they, for some reason, their board of members decided to set it up in Gurgaon, which is very challenging way back in 2012 to set up an R&D team. So I was the first hire, and I was posted in Gurgaon to set up the team. I found it very difficult because there is no competitor available in India which is working on this currency technology. Right? So I used to hire from ATM Industries, which is NCR and Behold, which is in similar category, but still the talent did not make up to what the expectation of Germans had. It took us some time. And coming back to now, setting up these nano development centers for Middle East companies or US company or a German company. How we are doing it is, it's very difficult. If you have a brand, then easy to attract. And within India, we are really fighting against corporates to attract the talent, and the talent is available only with the corporates. But what we are doing is, we are finding a match which is 70% closer talent for the JD that the client is giving, and then training them on the domain that they require. Right? It takes some time, but we are confidently ramping up the team, bringing them to the standard that the client is expecting. So also we are not just providing the staffing services, we are taking the journey together with our clients, building the team over a period of time, identifying the skill gap and training them. So what my suggestion would be, if you are really focusing on the Nano GCC, like how do you build a sales pipeline, build a talent pipeline. Identify your core team, hire those guys, you utilize them to build the second set of team which can be trained and they take over the lead or architect position over a period of time so that you are able to manage the attrition. Attrition is something which we can't ignore. It is going to be there, especially for those small startups or the nano GCCs. And especially when you're building a nano GCC, you're working on something special, product-based deliverables. So any disturbance in the attrition will affect. It's not the work packages that we are focusing on. We are focusing on a product which has its milestone, which has to go into the market at a certain point of time, otherwise you miss the bus, right? So we need to have a backup team. Maybe it costs more than the budget, but it is always good to have a pipeline of people available to take over if somebody leaves the organization and then he takes over from there. So my suggestion is to build your talent pipeline. Train your team, keep it ready, even if it's overshoots the budget, but it is worth doing it.
So coming to the talent, in fact I started because of that reason. So when we know that when nano GCs are turning from cost arbitrage to center of excellence, when it is being turning into center of excellence, you need to have people. So initially when I came back to India, that's one of the biggest challenge what we had, to identify talent and to hire them back on this point. So identification talent is very easy. Somewhere with our experience we can identify. But the challenge is convincing them to join back to a nano GCC because this is not much bigger brand on this point. It's very difficult. However, when they join and retaining them is a bigger challenge. So in order to solve the problem, we just come up with that something called as a talent Spotify part, where we make the everyday work into gamification to make them into engaging, so that at least they will be just whatever the KPI they are achieving, the moment we are going to be recognizing it and we are rewarding them with the points. Not that it's a non-monetary, it's a kind of a non-monetary way, you just get the points and you can redeem it today and work from home by exchanging of these points. Coffee with CEO or maybe something like as a certificates, those kind of a reward points what we have started to redemption mode in a non-monetary way. Then we have seen the results, and as a resultant, we have clearly seen that last 3 years I have not seen any resignation from my team, whomever it is we have started on this one. I think it is definitely working, and also my customers are also saying the same way, the model and what we suggested on this one, and their retention rate is much more higher than this one.
Raja, you wanted to share a couple of the GCCs you have enabled with a specific examples. Who have come in? Why did they come in? Maybe that will be very relevant to understand. Like what kind of companies are coming into nano GCCs.
Madhu said from Indo-German Chamber of Commerce, we are working with clients who are not much aware about the talent or the landscape available in India. So we focus on product companies. But I never worked in an IT services company. I worked all with corporate companies who build products for the global market. So we work with those kind of clients. So it takes a lot of time to make them understand India talents are available. The attrition is not that bad. That's what we think. We can still build that kind of a talent and deliver your product. So it takes a lot of time to sell that, and I like what I told earlier, Raghu, this setting up a development center, technology center, which is very complex. We did do it. I always feel proud and being part of this currency technology company. Its name is GCK in Delhi, and it is based out of the Munich 160-year-old company, which is purely into currency and security and e-passport related. I built a team in Gurgaon, 120-member team, and we delivered a product which is now being used in almost 60% of the countries in the world, sorting their currencies and detecting the counterfeit. So it's possible, and it was recognized as a Make in India product in Hanover, as an Indo-German collaboration also. So it's possible, but it takes time to make them understand, especially the SMB clients, that India is not just a work package, delivering work packages, but they can also build innovation and technology products also.
I just want to share, a couple of GCCs we have enabled. We have enabled one GCC in Bangalore. It is an North Carolina-based, agri-tech startup, greenfield agri-tech startup, and they raised some money in the US. They want to build a product. They have built the entire product out of Bangalore. They hired 40-50 people. Over 36 months, they built a product. Now they are into commercial operation. Entire indoor farming tech platform they have built based on IoT. They started with the tech team. Now they have set up the marketing and sales team. Super happy. Founder is super happy. He advocates coming tech startups, to India. He is an ambassador for us. That's one startup. The second, one GCC Nano in some sense. Second, very recently we enabled something in Hyderabad. This is a Texas-based company. What they do, they design and manufacture beauty segment furniture for the large retailers. Walmart, Tiger kind of a thing. They're 150 million revenue. They wanted to have their tech team, AI team for their designs. And they came with 20 people. It's a 1-year-old. They are happy. They are increasing their scale. Now they also want to add sales, marketing, admin support. These are the examples in terms of Nano GCC. We could not have thought of this maybe 5 years back. Large enterprises, Fortune 100, 500 already came in, but now I think mid-market and the small companies are coming, and I think that's going to be increasingly very, very high. I just want to pick up, how do you get attention from your parent for your GCC that you deserve, attention, and then you want to grow in the value chain. What are you doing as an India Center head?
So I think, as mentioned, it's no longer scale, at least for the Nano GCCs, it's not scale, number of people. It is the value proposition, the value that the projects that are run from here are deriving, and there are some very critical projects that the GCC here is delivering and taking the ownership end to end, and the success of it talks, and then you become a part of the parent, right? So pilot has been successfully completed. We had our own learnings, failures, and a few success stories, but I think that is how we are building trust to the parent, that hey, we can independently deliver, you just give us and we are able to demonstrate that value for you, and a purpose-driven value, and bring in that innovative angle for the digital manufacturing that the organization is looking at, and how it can be relevant to all the global regions that we are operating. So I think take up those projects that have a clearly defined ROI, that has a value proposition, that is directly linked to the revenue model of the parent organization, and give the trust with the culture element within. We shouldn't be silos within. I think that's the biggest problem that we continue to solve. As we set up, we are within ourselves sometimes, nano pieces. But I think as a team, when we come together, show that outcome, I think the parent will definitely get inclined and invest more into the GCC here.
Yeah, first to Augustus and then to Shiju. The big challenge, again I'm coming back on talent, and you are hiring smart teams, 20, 50, 100, 200. You are a small brand and you don't have a brand at all, right? How should they crack this? Right, they are competing with the people like IBM, Infosys, PE-funded large companies. How do they solve this puzzle? What are the tricks?
Yeah. I think the first thing to understand here, for what you said was size doesn't matter. Okay, it's about skills arbitrage. And are the skills available? Well, to be the bearer of bad news, the skills are not available as much as we would like that quality. Alright? So if you look at our campuses, there is about 50% or 58% employment. Alright? And then we end up training them, investing them, and then making them billable. So the cycle time it takes for a nano or a macro GCC is actually 6 months for them to be productive. So what do? Well, we've got to work on 3 F's. I call it fast, flat, and focused. Fast is that you go to campuses, bring in your syllabus, what you want them to be on your first day of work, and then get the campus to make sure that that skill is imparted to them. And how does it happen? Not just by the faculty out there, because faculty in many cases don't have industry experience. So it's important that we send our people there, we define that syllabus, and then deliver that learning over there so that you have industry-ready skills. The other thing here is a soft issue I want to bring out, is that the workforce today is fragmented. You're not going to be having them all in one place of Bangalore. You've got to look beyond. And I've done it. And I see skills right across the state of Karnataka, be it Hubli, Dharwad, Davangere, or wherever it is. So you've got to go there to unlock talent. And when you unlock talent there, you have a lower challenge of attrition. You also have better skills, I would say. And I have friends here from KDM, whom I keep pushing them to give us skills, because without skills, you don't have a business. So I think the first thing that we've got to do here, alongside KDM and my friends from finishing schools and universities, is to build that pipeline. Build that pipeline and also build confidence in the workforce that is coming today, and tell them we are fine with you being fragmented because we can build digital workplaces. Digital workplaces can be built anywhere right outside Bangalore. You therefore decongest the city, and also it's purpose driven. It meets ESG goals, right? And last but not least, I want to also say that there's a lot of uncertainty because of global cues, all right? Today with the geopolitical situation that is happening there, 3 wars happening around us, the new workforce as well as the existing workforce is insecure. So it's so important to build that sense of assurance in people. And when you put people at the core of your business will run on autopilot. Thank you. Yes, you can clap.
So that's absolutely right? Without skills, we cannot achieve the business objectives. See, one challenge that I have faced in my organization and all the organizations that I've worked for is people don't understand what GCC is. For the new talent, the talent who have just come out of the college, they don't know what GCC is. Though I have seen a shift of educational sector wherein now we are focused on data analytics as a course, or data science as a course, or business intelligence as a course, or there are AI courses right from the school curriculum, so people understand these small segments. When we talk about nano GCCs is all about bringing this together, right? We are not talking about scale here, we are talking about excellence, we are talking about teams who can actually work through these specialized skills. Right from the educational institutions, I think that needs to be pushed. So we have to start understanding that GCCs are not the old age BPOs or the call centers. That is not GCC. And we are slowly moving from GCCs to people have started calling it as GVCs, right? Global Value Creators, Global Value Centers. So it is all about value that brings in. Now, Raghu, to answer your question, see, attracting talent is I think it's difficult for every firm, irrespective of the brand that they have. With Gen Zs coming into picture, they don't care about what brand they are working on. They care about what work they are going to do. So if you are able to make them understand what is the actual work, you have the clear roles and responsibilities called out, and you have the clear outcomes defined to them, you will attract talent. And you're right, to an extent, see, we have skill scarcity, but it's not because they do not know. It is because they do not. Nobody has told them that this is what is required in the business world. I think the moment we change that outlook, the skills will start attracting more and more skills.
Thanks. See, not that every GCC is successful. We've been thinking business is moving from services industries to GCCs, but there are also challenges, right? Very recently, I come across a US-based product company. They set up a GCC immediately after COVID. We all know what happened immediately after COVID. The kind of salaries and the increments which have happened. They hired a very, very expensive resource there. They could not manage it. Now they want to give it to a managed service provider. I just want, maybe Anil and then Raja, then to Prasanna to respond. What are the typical challenges, and how do we avoid them?
As you rightly said, on this one, acquiring a talent is one of the major challenges, that is fine. Then after that, once the people whomever it is hired at that moment, and to retain them, and with the cost, whatever it is coming up, it's always a challenge, especially post-COVID. This is what actually everybody has seen the trends on this one. Even we are just working with one of the niche skill set on this one, and where we have hired the people where we would not even, we are ready to pay, but people are not available with the skill set on this one. Because now they are looking with the bigger brands. They don't want to work with the non-GCCs on this one. Because especially pandemic time, yes, everybody wants to come up on this one and work it out. But after post-pandemic, the whole scenario has been changed. And now, you are exactly pointed out, still that is a bigger challenge on this one, to retain the talent, and identification of the niche skill talent is always a challenge.
As I said earlier, don't always fight for the best talent. I don't know what that best talent means. And everybody is fighting for that talent, and we are creating a disparity in the salary between above average guy and the best guy, right? So to avoid that, my experience, what I'm trying to say is, let's find a guy who is above average and try to train them and retain, and he will be loyal with us for a longer period of time, right? And he gets an opportunity to learn, and then he learns the domain, and he stays at least for 2 years, which is fair enough for today's scenario to stay with us. So let's look for a closer match from a different domain, but he understands the technology, he understands and eager to learn, so that we take them, hire them, and then train and build them into the one skilled person, and then for sure my experience is you will stay with us for a longer period.
Prasanna, you want to go? Typically, what are the challenges and how to avoid? I know other than talent, talent is one, but what else can hamper growth, can hamper achieving the desired results?
Again, I will speak in the context of our setup. So there are three things, both in terms of challenge and also an opportunity if we can overcome. One is the infrastructure or the ecosystem. When you set up, Nano GCC is not like, you have two people sitting having a cup of coffee. It is a complete setup. Even for 100 people, you have an end-to-end setup, right? So maintaining that infrastructure, and again, as Sir has mentioned about the policies and the extension of support that these GCCs would get in terms of benefits to sustain, to also make the parent attract towards it, I think is one in terms of the infrastructure. That's a continuous thing to look at. The second one is on the integration. Integrating with the parent vision, integrating with the overall success of the organization and their roadmap, running at that speed is also very important. And the third challenge is retention. Sir has mentioned, I think it is definitely quite challenging to retain people would want to learn, upskill, get better, but then they want a brand at the end of the day, right? So when they are tenured enough, then they would definitely want to get into the big pool. How does then, the Nano GCCs have the ability to retain them, keep them for the longer term? I think these are the three things: infrastructure, integration, and retention. The challenges we are working on.
Thank you, thank you. Raja, you wanted to touch upon what are the typical engagement models for this, nano or smart GCCs? How can they come into India?
This is goes into like what I said, a lot of sales and marketing that we have to do, right? The mindset has to change. The big brands understand what India can offer, but the mid-market, the small clients, they do a lot of innovative work, right? So to attract them, we need to really do a lot of sales and marketing, like the German chamber can do this for us, right? They can associate with the product companies who are doing a lot of work, not those startups in India that do the e-commerce, but there are other startups like Neuro AI, right? They are doing a lot of innovative work in that. Of course, it's collaboration, but still, to maintain that, to sustain that, they have a tech team supporting them. So we should market about those product companies that are doing a lot of good work in India, the startups ecosystem. Then it would help to make them open up and come to India to set up those product teams here in India. And we have done it as a small company, Angel Consulting, we have done such small teams like 10 to 15 member team. Not only in Bangalore, we have done it in Pune, in Bangalore for a data analytics company which is doing very focused analytics, and also some of the other solar-based company which is doing on EV work, which is very technology-oriented product. I can't mention the company name, and we have set up a cross-functional team. Cross-functional team, when I say it, is about mechanical, electronics, embedded, and the application software. Core team here, they started with a one-member team, just we want to test it, but they got convinced that we have a good set of people here, and then it grew over 2 years into a 15-member team now. We're very happy that it saves them cost and time, and then we are there to support them 24 hours in their time zone. And then those kind of things, I would say it needs a lot of sales and marketing, and government like ADM and a lot of other associations are very actively now traveling across the globe. And if they can take industry partners and make them showcase our technology and the things that we are doing to help us bring it forward.
I mean, see you want to add?
This is Sunil. At the time of 2002, we are setting up the GCC in Malaysia and Singapore. The thing is, they will build, operate, execute model with their technology parks. It's kind of any new startup works and new company can start for Nano GCCs for 100, 150. Let's you take 100 acres, but they are giving the ready-made support for them. Any company they want to move to India, they will provide the infrastructure, they will provide the benefits, and the right talent also they will provide. And same time, they will build a culture. Until unless we are not able to build the company's culture, let's say one company is coming from China. So especially the people who are joining the employees, they need to understand the culture. The company has to build how the company can establish and the right talent, how to grow. So these are the possibilities we need to see with how the leadership will be there. All this perspective we need to build. But in India right now, many GCCs are coming, but still we need a lot of maturity on GCC side. A lot of government side, we need to a lot of support between state government and central government actually. We proposed a few models with IT Minister in central government actually. Hopefully it will work it out soon actually. Thank you.
important, talent and culture. And without the culture, I think the outcomes cannot come. Any of you want to comment on what are you doing to address that culture issue?
So, our definition of culture is recognize the right thing, don't ignore the good thing, and do not tolerate the non-compliant thing. I think then it will define the culture of the organization. So, recognize, ignore, and tolerate. What you're tolerating, what you're ignoring, and what you're recognizing, I think means the culture. And in a small setup, everybody is seeing everything, what's going on. There is nothing hidden. So, yeah, I think that's what I would like to say.
Some companies have taken an approach, from GCC, you keep couple of people at the parent. They are your representative. That is how the culture gets transmitted. You put them on site. He is the one who is selling the GCC at a parent, right? So he is being paid by the GCC, not by the parent. So that's how his mandate is to see that how do I get more work to the GCC, how do I deliver value to the GCC. That's one way. I think the immersions and some of those things. Maybe in the large companies happen big way, but I think smaller companies, I think getting value seems to be a less challenge versus for a large company, because you have scarce capital, scarce resources. Maybe you have the deadlines. I mean, maybe parent has a lesser team and your GCC has a larger team. Maybe 10:100 kind of a thing. That's what I see. Any of you have any closing comments? Otherwise, we will close the session. We have 2 more other panels.
Just to add, beyond culture is purpose.
Right.
Now, even if you're a small company, you don't compete with a large company on compensation or various other things. I think it's about articulating the purpose of why they are there and what are they doing. So if you're working for a healthcare life sciences company and the person is writing code in Java, every line of code that person is writing goes towards somebody's well-being. I think that's about articulating purpose to the individual. And once you articulate purpose effectively and the person's value system resonates with that purpose, you get engagement. And when you get engagement, you get wellness. You have a healthier workforce. So, culture, again purpose. Engagement, healthier workforce. Thank you.
That was a fantastic closing remark. Purpose, I think purpose is defined. People are aligned with your purpose. I think they will work. And even the smaller brand, people will come and work. If the purpose is aligned and there is a very challenging work. I think talent, it's a challenge for everybody, large company and small company. But, this has to be addressed. And I want to thank all my panel members for doing a fantastic job, maybe 30-40 minutes. We are running out of time and the schedules got delayed. Thank you so much, each one of you, for sparing your time. Thank you, audience, for being here. Thank you so much.